It's Thursday, 13 February. Welcome to the PDB Afternoon Bulletin. I'm Mike Baker, your eyes and ears on the world stage. All right, let's get briefed. First, an Afghan migrant has carried out a suspected terror attack in Germany ahead of the Munich Security Conference on Friday, leaving at least 28 people injured, including children. Later in the show, Hamas does an about-face on their threats to delay the next release of hostages, putting the fragile ceasefire in Gaza back on track. But first, today's afternoon spotlight. Terror has once again struck in the heart of Germany. Nearly 30 people were injured Thursday morning after an Afghan migrant rammed a car through a crowd in Munich in what authorities are describing as a suspected attack. Really? An Afghan migrant drives his car through a crowd in Munich, and the authorities suspect it could be an attack. Nice work, Poirot. The incident comes just one day before U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, Ukrainian President Zelensky, and other foreign leaders are scheduled to meet at a major security conference hosted in that city. That's according to a report from the Wall Street Journal. The suspect, a 24-year-old Afghan asylum seeker who was apparently known to police, was quickly apprehended by local officers who reportedly fired a shot at his car before taking him into custody. While details of the attack are still coming in, officials said at least 28 people were left wounded, including children. Ambulances descended on the scene, and officials said at least 2 of the victims are in critical condition. While authorities don't believe the attack is connected to Friday's Munich Security Conference, it occurred just 1 mile from an upscale hotel in central Munich that is hosting the event. The U.S. Secret Service released a statement saying that there was no, quote, protective impact to the vice president, but noted that they are closely monitoring the heightened security situation. The suspect, whose name has not been released, had recently had his asylum claim rejected and was on a watch list for his connections to theft and drug offenses. The attack unfolded just after 10:30 a.m. local time in Germany, when the Afghan man overtook a police vehicle and accelerated a Mini Cooper vehicle into the back of the crowd, which was gathered there for a union rally. Bavarian Governor Markus Söder said, quote, "This is simply terrible, that once again someone rammed their car into a group of people. There are a lot of injured." And then he said, "It's a slap in the face," end quote. The incident comes as Germany still reels from a car-ramming attack on a Christmas market by a Saudi national in December that killed 6 individuals and left nearly 300 injured. It also comes less than a month after German police arrested an Afghan man suspected of killing 2 people, including a 2-year-old, in a stabbing attack. The latest attack is likely to have significant repercussions for Germany's general election, which is now just 10 days away. Due to the recent episodes of migrant violence, immigration, of course, has emerged as a major focal point in the race. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who is not expected to be reelected, attempted to take a hardline stance at a campaign stop on Thursday, saying that the driver involved in this latest attack, quote, "must be punished and he must leave the country," end quote. But many in Germany feel their leaders have completely failed on the issue of unchecked migration and are now turning to either the far-right Alternative for Germany party, which has been surging in the polls of late, or the Conservative Christian Democrat Union of Germany party, or CDU, which currently has a 10-point lead in the race. Friedrich Merz, the CDU's leader and frontrunner to become the next chancellor, declared Thursday, quote, "The safety of the people in Germany will be our top priority. Everyone must feel safe in our country again. Something must change in Germany," end quote. All right, coming up next, Hamas agrees to resume the release of hostages in Gaza as planned, appearing to resolve a major dispute that threatened to derail the fragile ceasefire with Israel. I'll have those details after the break. Running a business isn't easy. I know that firsthand. Look, as a business owner, I've seen how managing finances can turn into a time-consuming headache with endless receipts, approvals, and expense tracking slowing everything down. And that's where Ramp comes in. Ramp streamlines finance operations by automating the entire process. It's no more chasing of receipts or manually logging expenses. Ramp takes care of it all, instantly matching receipts, categorizing purchases, and approving transactions while integrating seamlessly with your ERP for real-time visibility. For finance teams buried in busy work, Ramp, well, they flip the equation. Look, most companies spend roughly 80% of their time on low-value tasks and only 20% on strategy. Think how ineffective that is. Ramp changes that, freeing up your time and your team to focus on forecasting, growth, and high-impact decisions. And making the switch is effortless. Over 25,000 businesses, including Shopify and the Boys and Girls Club of America, trust Ramp, earning it the #1 ranking in spend management by G2. And now, for a limited time, listeners of this show can get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/PDB. That's ramp.com/PDB. Once again, that's ramp.com/PDB. Cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. And as they say, terms and conditions apply. Welcome back to the Afternoon Bulletin. After days of uncertainty, Hamas announced Thursday that it would proceed with releasing Israeli hostages according to the previously agreed timeline, backtracking on threats to suspend a core stipulation of the ceasefire agreement amid escalating tensions with Israel. The reversal followed threats from President Trump that he would let, quote, all hell break out in Gaza, and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu's vow to resume, quote, intense fighting if Hamas failed to comply. As we've been tracking on the PDB, Israeli military reservists have begun massing along the border in anticipation of a possible breakdown of the agreement. Earlier this week, the Iran-backed terror group accused Israel of violating the terms of the 3-week-old ceasefire by not allowing aid into the enclave. The terror group declared it would withhold hostages in response. However, in a statement published on its website, Hamas has a website, Hamas announced that it would, quote, continue its position of implementing the agreement and release 3 hostages on Saturday. This shift followed what Hamas described as positive discussions with Qatar and Egypt, 2 key mediators, of course, who brokered the initial ceasefire, which took effect in January, more than 15 months into the war. Hamas's primary demand to mediators in Cairo has been for increased humanitarian aid, including additional shelters, medical supplies, fuel, and heavy equipment for clearing rubble, resources it claims mediators pledged to provide. Israel has not immediately responded to Hamas's latest statement, but the group's decision to move forward with the hostage releases could help maintain the fragile truce, at least for now. The larger question remains whether the ceasefire will hold beyond its first phase, which is set to conclude in early March. No substantive negotiations have taken place regarding the second phase, which would require Hamas to release all remaining living hostages in exchange for a full Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. That prospect is already facing resistance from Netanyahu's hardline allies, who argue that military operations must resume to eliminate Hamas entirely. As of now, 73 Israeli hostages remain in captivity, although roughly half of those are believed to be dead. Causing further unease in the situation is Trump's proposal to remove Gaza's 2 million-plus residents and resettle them in other countries. And that's a plan strongly opposed by both Palestinians and Arab nations. But Netanyahu's coalition has embraced the idea, framing it as a necessary step to ensure Israel's long-term security. Trump suggested the effort be financed by wealthy Arab states, envisioning a post-war scenario in which Israel transfers control of Gaza to the U.S. Egypt has signaled a willingness to engage with Trump on a broader peace initiative. In a statement Tuesday, the Egyptian Foreign Ministry pledged to work toward a, quote, comprehensive and just peace in the region. Cairo is now preparing to host an emergency Arab summit on 27 February after President Trump extended an open invitation to the Egyptian president to discuss the matter at the White House. And that, my friends, is the PDB Afternoon Bulletin for Thursday, 13 February. Now, if you have any questions or comments for me, and I hope you do, please reach out at pdb@thefirsttv.com. And as always, If you'd like to listen to the show ad-free, well, simply become a premium member of the President's Daily Brief by visiting pdbpremium.com. Very simple. I'm Mike Baker, and I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, stay cool.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and leave a comment, a really positive, nice, and kind comment. That would be appreciated. And if you're not already subscribed to our channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our daily updates.